Hey, you're live.
You're gonna sit there in the side. Isn't that kind of weird?
Hi, everyone. I'll move.
Hello, and welcome. I'm gonna try to turn up the PC brightness so it brightens up the screen a little bit. I'm kind of tired. I feel a little sluggish. Also, this is too high. Let's do this. Hi. You're just there in the shot. It's
I'm
weird.
not in the shot.
Yes, you
what
are.
are you talking
I can
about?
see your
I
arm.
can see you.
I saw your arm. Okay. It's weird with you watching me. I don't like this.
Okay, I can move myself out of
No, it's fine. You want to watch? I'll just pretend you're not here. I have to get in the mindset.
Can you get in the mindset with me here? Because I could go outside.
I
I'll go outside.
No.
Yes.
Stay. Shirley, stay. I can get in the mindset with you here. Stay. I'm just being silly. Okay, what's up? So, this is Farmer Traders. Shirley and I are. Shirley's my wife, as you saw her arm a second ago and heard her voice. We are trying to live off the grid. Well, we're aiming to live off the grid. We're currently not living off the grid. We're living very much on the grid. I work for a Fortune 500 company, and it's a very woke corporation. And y'all, alright, if anyone actually watches this, I'm going to speak my mind about stuff, and I'm going to try really hard not to curse, because Shirley tells me this needs to be a kid-friendly zone. So I'm going to tell you what I think about stuff, and if y'all don't like it, then, you're welcome to have some respectful discourse in the comments and to message me or, comment respectfully, and we'll have healthy discourse. But if you divulge into ad hominem attacks and, calling me selfish and attacking me, then you'll get your ass booted. So just so you know, I'm going to talk about things, and I work for a woke Fortune 500 company, and it's starting to get to me. I want out. So I'm figuring out how to make money with this. That you see here. I'm going to increase the brightness because this looks like poo-poo. Light mode. There we go. That looks better. I decreased the brightness earlier today because it was hurting my eyes staring at the other monitor that we have, and it was too bright, but this looks better on this computer. So I'm trying to figure out how the heck to make money in the markets. This is Bitcoin that you see here. The Bitcoin chart on the 15-minute time frame looks like a freaking mess with lines everywhere. Magic lines. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, just so you know. I'm going to show you what I see, and you can follow along, and I hope that you learn something, based on what I see. This isn't right. I changed the color of this line. I thought I did at least. Maybe I didn't. Is this up to date? I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to figure this out, but be warned, I didn't know what technical analysis was until 6 months ago. I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen a candlestick chart in my life until 6 months ago. All right, so I'm a freaking noob at this, and I've lost a lot of money already. Like a lot of money. I've made some money too, but I've lost some money. And I'm currently net in the negative. I own a lot of Bitcoin. Shirley and I'm not going to divulge exactly how much I own, but I own a lot. But my average price that I own, I don't even know, and I don't even want to calculate it because it scares me. But I know it's somewhere around like $45,000 is our cow space is probably roughly in that range, 45 to 50,000. So Bitcoin's currently at $35,000. So I'm down about 25% on my Bitcoin earnings owning. I also own a good bit of Ethereum. My portfolio is split about 25, 75 Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin or the Ethereum that we own is up. My cost basis there is like 1,800. So the Ethereum's doing good. Bitcoin's doing poopy. But it's coming back, y'all, and I'm going to tell you why. No, I don't know anything. No one knows anything. No one can predict anything. I just try to follow price day by day and trying to get to the point where I can start making leverage trades on Bitcoin. First leverage long I took was right here, and price dumped really hard. Thankfully, I closed it out before it dumped too hard. Closed it out actually because Kraken made me close it. I entered long somewhere around, I don't even know, somewhere around April. I know I thought, based on another streamer I watch, Jordan Lindsay, we were all following. You should check him out. I mean, he's got his flaws, honestly, but he taught me a lot, and following him is the main reason why I got into technical analysis, is based on his teachings, and he live streams every day at 9 a.m., every weekday at 9 a.m. at Conquer Trades and Investing YouTube channel. It's good stuff. Sometimes it's not, but I learned a lot watching him. But yeah, back in April, we were all following this bull flag that was developing right here. Bull flag is, you get a parallel channel where if price is in an uptrend and then forms a temporary downtrend in a parallel channel as such, like this, then, this is what it looked like to us at the time. Bull flag was developing. We're like, oh yay, we were waiting for a big breakout on Bitcoin because it was due for one, and based on previous cycles and everything, we're following the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin, which I can explain more about that later. I'm not going anywhere specific with this live stream or any live stream. Just gonna kind of talk and hopefully get better at what I do, and hopefully you'll learn something. So anyway, we're following this bull flag, and we're like, oh yay, it's gonna break out any day now, woohoo, let's go long. Me, it's what I thought. I opened a Kraken account and was like total noob Shane. I'd only been trading for seriously for probably about 2 months, and was like, I can do this. Oh, price did that, and I panicked, and I sold half the leverage that I had. Accidentally sold half my spot position. Spot meaning just the cash that I had in Bitcoin, not leverage. I freaked. It was midnight when this price crashed, and I freaked the heck out, and got deleveraged, got rid of most or part of my leverage position, and then price did more of this, and I pissed my pants a few more times, but held on. My liquidation level thankfully was way down here, so I wasn't gonna get liquidated, but still I was freaking out. Held on. Price just kept dumping. I think I deleveraged completely somewhere around here. I just said, I'm getting out of this. I lost some money on those leverages, deleveraging. I don't know, something like $4,000 or $5,000. Or what's more important is the amount of Bitcoin that I lost. I lost about 7 or 8% of the Bitcoin that I had bought, which it's not awful. It's not everything, but it sucks. It hurts looking back on it. So yeah, 7% of the Bitcoin was gone. And then price just kept crapping everywhere, and now we're here, and zoom out even further to the weekly. Let's go to a nice clean chart, actually. I've got 5 or 6 different Bitcoin charts. They're all the same thing. They're different exchanges. This is the Bitcoin on Bitstamp. This is Bitcoin on Binance. This is Bitcoin on Kraken. Bitcoin on Crack. Bitcoin on Kraken. I'll find another one. There's so many of them. They're all the same. There'll be subtle differences between extreme ends of wicks and stuff on different exchanges, but for the most part, the price action is exactly the same in every exchange. BTC, USD, Coinbase, sure. We'll look at Coinbase's chart. There we go, nice clean chart. So Bitcoin's forming up what looks like to Michael Burry a beautiful head and shoulders pattern. If you don't know who Michael Burry is, look him up. Watch the movie The Big Short. I need to watch it again. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But Michael Burry is the guy who called the housing market crash 2 years before it happened. He said, housing's in a bubble in 2006. and all the Wall Street bros were like, "You're an idiot." And then housing crashed like 2 years later, and he's like, "Told you so." And ever since then, he's been calling tops and calling bubbles in like every other market, and it's kind of this point where it's just like he's a canary like in a coal mine to some people, but to others he's just a FUD spreader. He thinks Bitcoin's in a bubble, which it is. I mean, to be honest, it's in a bubble, but it's gonna pump a lot more. I think. I don't even know if you actually can really call it a bubble, because when it crashes again, it's probably going to come back down to this level. But I think, as do many others who know a lot more than me, that Bitcoin's going to go like somewhere up here, which might seem crazy, but if you put it on a log scale, it's really not that crazy.
Explain what a log scale is.
It's fine. I'm not trying to go through anything specific. I'm just talking. If you put it on a log scale, then if you don't know what a log scale is, go look it up, do your own research, learn yourself. I don't have to tell you everything. No, a log scale is putting it on a scale where it's where you can see it compresses the exponential. So I guess I can show you on. It's hard to explain. I'd have to like come up with a presentation for it, but a log scale is. Let's look up the definition. I'll Google it for you. Logarithmic scale is a way of displaying numerical data over a very wide range of values in a compact way. So it compresses the scale and the y-axis in a log scale. So the scale gets compressed. Typically, the largest numbers in the data are hundreds or even thousands of times larger than the smallest number. So basically, all right, you know what? Let's just draw it for y'all. In a log scale, typically, okay, in a normal XY scale, if X is time, in the case of price, okay, forget it, you get it. This is time, X is time, and Y is price. Typically, you would have like $1, $2, $3, $4. So you'd have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a linear scale. It's normal like price. That's what most people see when they look at charts. If you go to log scale, then you go multiples of some value, but it's an exponential increase. So let's say log base 10, you would go 1, 10, 100, 100, and 1,000. So then your price is going to be charted. It's going to be the same data, but plotted on a chart that has a compressed scale. So whereas in the linear scale it's 1, 2, 3, 4. To get all the way up to 1,000, you'd have to climb up this ladder of price, like way up here off the screen. Like way up here off the screen. But with a log scale, it compresses it all down, so that way you can see really wide ranges of data on a much smaller scale, or a much smaller on the screen, compressed area. So that's log scale. Surely, for those who don't know, forgive me if I ever say things you don't know, and if I do, just look it up. Honestly, you have a computer in front of you. You're looking at a computer screen with a keyboard in front of you. You can pause this video and go Google it. But I will try my best to explain everything to you and hold your hand along the way. So, but again, don't rely on me for everything. I'm just going through this journey, and I'm inviting you on it with me. Let's learn together, shall we? Okay, so if you look at Bitcoin on a log scale, you can see that Bitcoin is an exponential price monster, basically. So on log scales, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but just trust me, on log scales, if some data point follows a linear pattern on a logarithmic chart, then that means that the data that you're viewing is exponential. So Bitcoin, I just drew a trend line, a linear trend line on a logarithmic chart. Bitcoin, or the trend line that I drew, the primary major trend line of Bitcoin that you see, Bitcoin, it always follows this trend line. At one point, it busted down below it in March of 2020 during the 2020 liquidity crisis, where the markets just panicked basically because they thought that everything was going to crash because of COVID and all that. Other than that, Bitcoin has stayed above this line, very close to it, very close to this line. So Bitcoin is following this linear pattern, but it's not linear truly. The data is not truly linear, but it is linear on a logarithmic scale. That means that Bitcoin is exponential. So if you take it off a log scale, this line no longer means anything. But the price action of Bitcoin is actually following an exponential trend. So go back to auto view. Yeah, it's just going up really freaking fast. If you really don't want to care about the math, like it's just going up like at a crazy rate. But all the while it'll speed up and slow down, speed up and slow down. It'll run up and pull back and run up and pull back. So right now we're in a major pullback, and everyone is arguing over whether or not we go down further. And whether or not we go up further. If you're a total noob to the Bitcoin bull market cycle and everything, do some research on that. I'm not going to go all through it right now in this video, but more or less the idea is that every 4 years, Bitcoin price explodes for like a solid 6 to 12 months, and then it crashes really hard. A lot of people are saying that we are crashing really hard right now, and that it's going to be another 4 years before we explode upwards again. You can see the last time we exploded upwards was in December of 2017, and we crashed promptly in the following spring, from January all the way to like June. It just totally crashed. And it stayed down for like 3 years until last year when we exploded upwards again. If you look at the 2017 bull market cycle, it went for, I don't know how long it went for, but basically the amount of time it went for, if you were to apply that to this year's bull market cycle, or this current bull market cycle, we should top somewhere in the fall, September, October, November, somewhere around there. We are not in the fall yet. It's June currently. So everyone's thought is if you apply the prior, price action to where we are now, we should have a lot more upside to go. And I agree with that. Even based on technical analysis stuff, it looks like that. But as I was saying before, though, Michael Burry says that we have a classic head and shoulders pattern, which is basically you have a shoulder, you have a head, you have a shoulder, and it's got to be so. That doesn't look like head and shoulders. Let's do that again. Head, shoulders. You have very symmetric pattern. So when price forms this symmetric, like perfectly symmetric shape, then for whatever reason, I don't know the technical reason behind it, but for whatever reason, that tends to mean that price is going to go down. It's going to continue that pattern and go up, down. That's really the only thing that it's got going for it, as far as bullish structure. We did just have a crazy dump the past couple days and hit the lowest low that we've seen since January. That's pretty bearish, honestly. It doesn't look great, but we're going somewhere, guys. Don't you worry about it. We're going somewhere. Wyckoff distribution is something that a lot of people are talking about right now. Goodness, I could get into that, but it's almost 11. I don't think I will. But yeah, Bitcoin. It's a good time to buy, in my opinion. Not financial advice. I will make you poor if you follow my advice. But yeah, I'd buy Bitcoin now if I were you. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I had some notes and things I want to talk about, but it's late. I can go to my drive real quick. Bible study notes. I bought a Ledger Nano to store my Bitcoin on it. If you guys are interested, I recommend the ledger. It's pretty cool. Where did I put these notes at? Points to talk about on live stream. Oh yeah, it's all about Wyckoff stuff. I don't feel like talking about all this right now. Basically, Wyckoff was this guy in the early 1900s who was like a stock master guru, and he came up with a bunch of like price action theories and stuff. And one of his major ideas is that market manipulators like to drive price up and then sell all their assets to retail and then drive the price down and then keep price low so that way they can accumulate assets at low prices, at which point they drive the price back up, or tempt retail to drive the price back up, really, and then tempt retail to drive the price back down. They manipulate the market. They're not, they don't actually have levers they pull to make the price go up and down, but they might as well have it because they know how to influence market psychology. They have it down to a science, and it works. And so a lot of evidence seems to suggest that Bitcoin is in a accumulation phase right now, which basically just means that rich people are buying up all the Bitcoin right now. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest that. And I'll go into that in another stream at some point. But yeah, a lot of evidence suggests that rich people are buying up all the Bitcoin. The smart money is buying up all the Bitcoin, and the dumb money is selling it to them. You want to be smart money. Buy now is what I would do and am doing. I've bought all the Bitcoin that I can afford right now, so I can't buy any more. What I'm trying to figure out how to do is to make more money using a little bit of lightly leverage. I don't want to over leverage myself and liquidate myself and lose a crap ton of money, but I'm using a little bit of money on KuCoin as the exchange I'm using because Kraken decided to limit leverage accounts to like $20 million accounts or more. You have to have like 20, you have to be a freaking millionaire to use leverage on Kraken now. I heard, my suspicion is that the powers that be, the rich people want to keep Joe Schmo, normal guy, you and me, from trading. But the official reason is that a lot of people owe Kraken a lot of money now because they got liquidated and they're tired of people losing money, and then, I don't know, probably coming after them and getting mad at them and trying to regulate them and stuff because a lot of people lost money leveraging with Kraken, supposedly. So it doesn't surprise me. These crazy wicks are indicative of liquidations. People are, leveraged out the ass, and then, have their liquidation levels are way high, so then when price drops, they get liquidated and drops even further. Like millions and millions of dollars of liquidations occurred at like each of these wicks, these crazy long wicks. You can look up the data, it's all out there. Yeah. So I'm trying to go long Bitcoin, trying to find a good place to do it. I know the safest place to do it, or at least I think the safest place to do it, and I got this idea from Jordan Lindsay, and I think he's right. I think he's totally right. The safest place is when we get back above this trend line. We're nowhere close to getting back above this trend line, but that would be the safest place. And then I also added, for my own sake, I have two criteria. I want to get above this trend line, and I also want to get above this horizontal line, because I've learned that diagonal trend lines are really helpful for figuring out the overall trend that you're in as far as up or down, and for figuring out if you're gaining momentum or losing momentum. Like if we get back above this clone trend line, this parallel trend line to this trend line, that means that's a good sign. It means you're or at least it's a good bullish signal. It means that you're gaining momentum to get back above it. But it's not something that you can trade off of. You can't break out of this line and say, I'm going to trade off of it. I mean, you could. Some people would do it. I think it's risky, and you can't really... it's so hard to set like levels around it because it's diagonal, and they seem to fluctuate. Like the price doesn't seem to respect them very well. But these nice magical horizontal lines, which you set off of price open and close, price really, really respects those for the most part. I mean, Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency, and it's a highly volatile asset, and you get crazy candles all over the place. Crazy wicks, I mean, all over the place. So, you know, it's so hard to set stop losses. And I've never traded anything else in my life, and I'm trying to trade Bitcoin the first thing. Just jumping into the deep end. But yeah, basically where I want to get is above this this horizontal line, which I've put it on. It's not really any particular level. I've just seen a lot of interaction around this horizontal line, particularly on the 8 hour. You can see once you get above it, it seems to stay above it. And then once it gets back down to it, it's just got a lot of interaction. I mean, it doesn't stay over it always, but I don't know. It's got a lot of, basically what they say is it has a lot of support around this, or a lot of supply around it. So I think once we get above this, I put go long here. This is where I'm going to go long for sure. And I think it coincides nicely with this downward diagonal. I think will be, price will probably do something like this. It'll go like, I'm hoping it's going to do like this. Boop, break. Okay, we're doing really good. Break once again, retest, and then we're off. Nice squiggly upwards. And yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, y'all. I'm going long here. I'm going to sign off now. It's 11 o'clock. Good night. Bye-bye. How do I stop?